Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the wicked mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
The essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
I'm still trying to figure out how I got one pick at the beginning and everybody else got like several picks. Like, what's the science behind that? I gotta ask John. I gotta send John an email. Hey, yo, bro, can I get some extra picks? All right, so welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. You see, we down, a person. You know what I'm saying? We down a twin. You by yourself in the office, Farouk. You know what I mean? Wonder Twin Miracle is off doing great things. We're not gonna put her business out there, but she's doing great things right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So shout out to her. And I feel like like every episode, like we got legal questions, we got who's the weakest link questions. We got a lot of miracle questions today, but we're gonna have to travel on without her. I'm Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. To my immediate right, left.
Treble never liked supremacy. I'm out here, you know what I'm saying? Doing what it do. What's popping? The lead teaching artist, the guru, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got your plant in the background, you know what I'm saying? Like,
got the flourishing.
Got the feng shui happening.
Yes.
And by yourself,
yes,
man. You by yourself today. Saïd with the shades, man. What's up?
Man, holding these niggas up. That's what I'm doing, man. My shoulders hurt, man. My back is tired. I'm like One Hood's Atlas, man. I just be carrying these niggas, man.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
That's why you on the bottom. You holding us up. You holding us up at the top or the top squares.
Man, come on, man.
Well, the hope is that we're going to all be together. We're going to pre-record these episodes. We're going to put it out like a real podcast, real show. That's coming really soon. Hopefully. And so but until the meantime, we do got obviously always we have more white supremacy than we can actually get to, but
white folks is wild this week, man. Like just so wild.
Yeah, it seemed like some extra. I don't know if this is let's get all the racism out before Halloween type.
I was about to say Halloween is like the most racist. Like Thanksgiving and Halloween, the most racist holidays. Like I
don't know. I think Christmas too. I mean, I think we're in the racist holiday trifecta, right? Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all have a strong history of racism.
This time of year, affectionately called by white supremacists is fuck these niggas season.
Oh, damn.
Yes. And then, brother like me going through seasonal depression, you know what I'm saying? Like I got my heater on every morning. It's cold out here, bro. It's cold.
Yes, it is.
I'm very comfortable in my place, man. My heat don't come on till like December.
I put on thermals the other day, like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. It's wild in these streets.
Wild, man.
So I am going through seasonal depression. So that's probably why. It's not only the weather, because black people, we like tropical weather, man. We don't like this cold, you know what I'm saying? So here comes the cold, and here comes all the white supremacy fuckery that happens.
This is their season. This is where they thrive because we need that sunlight. You know what I'm saying? We come out in the summer and spring.
Come on, brother. Come on. But so I guess the biggest white supremacist news is, this week kicked off the trial of the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I'm saying? This isn't the Ahmaud Arbery trial. This is actually the murder trial for 3 white men accused of chasing down and killing Ahmaud Arbery, Gregory McMichael, Travis McMichael, and their neighbor William Roddy Bryan Jr. When they throw your what is that? Oh, okay. What is it? Who is that? Is that
Don't
Will?
Shoot? That's Will and Carlton.
Oh, that's Will and Carlton. Oh, that's kind of hard. Okay, that's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of hard. Shout out to your shirt. You know what I'm saying? So just what do y'all? I mean, I guess like this is different in the sense that and I think the killing of Ahmaud Arbery actually helped to break down a lot of this systemic, institutional racism that we see, right? They were basically allowed to kill this black man. And for those that don't remember, Ahmaud Arbery was jogging through the neighborhood. Because he was black, they deemed him somebody that had previously robbed the neighborhood. They thought they chased him down, literally ran him down with guns
in a pickup truck,
and then proceeded to kill Ahmaud Arbery. They were friends with the prosecutor of the county, so they didn't get prosecuted. It wasn't until this video came out, and they actually put the video out thinking that it would somehow exonerate them. Of what people felt that they did, and it showed them literally Ahmaud Arbery really running for his life, and unfortunately being murdered by these three men. So not only did they get indicted by a grand jury, but also the prosecutor was voted out of office, and she also got brought up on charges. And so this is something that kind of shows the insidiousness of this small town southern racism. What do you all think? Is there, Chauvin was found guilty? Do we think they're going to be found guilty? Do we think this is going to send some type of message that, white folk can't do this vigilante justice? I mean, the last time we had a trial similar to this, it was George Zimmerman. What do you all think as this trial gets underway?
It was, the thing that was wild wasn't one of the people former law enforcement?
Yes.
Yeah, he was a former sheriff or something, and he was, so this is like the living nightmare that black people experience all day. Is not only is it the threat of law enforcement ending your life, but it's these off-duty cops, it's these former police officers or law enforcement officers that live out these, these 80s action movie fantasies in their heads, spliced in with like some slave master mentality shit. I think the thing that bodes well, I guess, is like, if there is a silver lining in this unfortunate tragedy, is that the state of Georgia doesn't have hate crime, right? So this is a federal offense. The federal government had to get involved with this to prosecute and bring charges up on hate crimes. This was a lynching, man. Like, this shit, in my opinion, I mean, I don't want to say one's worse than the other, but this was more difficult. I didn't watch neither, but this would have been more difficult for me to watch than the George Floyd murder. Right. Because this, to me, this was just like, they had like a good time doing this. This was like, a Wednesday night that they were just like excited about. It was like, yeah, this is, you know what I mean? Like,
there's that shit we see this stuff in movies, right?
I was about to say, it was just like the scene out of Django. Yeah. Like, it was literally just the scene out of Django, just with a pickup truck and a shotgun, from
Mississippi Burning. But this is the state trial.
Oh, so it's the state trial.
Okay. Correct, right? They were also charged federally, right? With it says they were charged federally, I believe, with like kidnapping, and a hate crime. But this is the state trial. Okay. And Georgia State charged them with malice and felony murder.
Yeah, not a hate crime.
Right, but they also face charges of aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit a false imprisonment. So this is for the state trial, and the jury selection is taking place right now. And you're right, Gregory McMichael was a former police officer, and he actually was an investigator for the local district attorney's office. And that's why people believe that the local district attorney at the time, Jackie Johnson, did not have him arrested or didn't want him arrested.
Let me just say this. This is proof positive that you cannot reform the system. You can't reform that. Like, there's no excuse. There's no possible way that you could dictate to me as a citizen that this system is repairable.
Well, I think that's what this trial might be indicative. Like, so if they're found, like, if despite all of this, if they're found guilty and the district attorney's found guilty, would this be sending a message that the system is kind of reformable? We saw the video. They got homegirl up out of there. They put her on charges. What would this mean to you, Treble?
So off rip, this whole thing, I looked at an emotional color wheel to help me out with this. This makes me feel dreadful and contemptuous, mostly because these people on camera hunted down a black man, a human being, right, and they're still facing a fair trial. And I've literally sat and witnessed Black people die for much less heinous crimes. Like
100%.
literally die at the hands of police officers for much less heinous. A fake $20 bill, just sleeping in an alleged drug dealer's house, walking, all types of shit, selling cigarettes. Jogging. You know what I'm saying?
Complying with police directions.
Yes, complying. So it's like we die at the hands of police officers just for being Black, but these white males can hunt down and kill a Black person and still make it to trial with their life intact. I'm not saying that they deserve to die or that they should be treated the same way, but what I am saying is that if you can treat these people who literally hunted and killed another person, another human being, Black human being to be specific, then it's like we should be treated with a lot more justice.
Yeah, and humanity. And it kind of, it made me think of two things. Because it took this nationwide outcry to even get them arrested. It took like this outcry
from Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everybody coming together, run with Ahmaud, everybody was running. But then, it also reminds me of, in a lot of ways, reminds me like Menace to Society. Like these dudes like recorded this crime. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with the like on some, like they were that brazen, they were that confident that nothing would happen to them, that they recorded this crime and put it out there like, nah, we didn't do nothing. You know, see for yourself. And it's like that video was the main reason why they were indicted right now. But at the same time, we've seen video, it doesn't necessarily mean we've seen officers not indicted. I mean, hell, we just saw we watched this officer run up on Jeff Blake, or Jacob Blake, as he was like walking away from the officer, trying to get into his car where his children is, and the officer just ran up and just shot him like 6-7 times. That officer wasn't indicted. So we've seen video evidence of officers doing wild shit and not be indicted. And so, like, I don't know, how I feel right now. I know right now one of the things is happening in the jury selection, and they're actually, the defense attorneys are like quizzing the jury around race. And it's a shame that you have to do that. But this is America, right? It like just the video of white men chasing this black, like if you would think just the video of 3 men chasing some innocent person down, regardless of race, and killing him would be enough that it'd be like a 1-week trial, case closed, throw these dudes away. We've seen what happened. It's all on videotape. But you have to find out about race, and is a Confederate flag, do you think that's racist? And all of this other conversation around race. And so it is wild to see that, because it's not a open and shut case, because you might get some jurors in Georgia that might be on that old time, I mean,
he shouldn't have been in this neighborhood.
100%. Like, why did he walk into that house? He walked into a house that was abandoned and that was under construction. He didn't do anything wrong. That shouldn't be a murder sentence. But, they come from that, Ku Klux Klan, like, yo, this is how we keep our niggers in check type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And kill that one, and you send a message to the other black people not to come into our neighborhood. So, you're absolutely right. So I guess we'll see what happens. And, just speaking of police killings, I mean, we had one right here in Pittsburgh, last week. And it was a gentleman named Jim Rogers who had a family, had a bike that they said was for sale for $50, but then they have said nobody had even paid $50, that they were going to give this bike away. So this man grabs the bike, rides it around the neighborhood, and brings the bike back. And, somebody called the police, and this police officer then, feeling that, Jim Rogers did not listen to his commands, proceeded to tase him. He was tased 3 times. Then, they said he had a quote unquote medical emergency, and he died on his way to the hospital.
I bet he did after being tased 3 times. The medical emergency is called it's called fucking murder. That's what.
Right. And I mean, Jim Rogers, he saw a bike on the thing, rode a bike, brought it back. So he was like, what did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. And so I guess, the police are saying they're going to show more video. I haven't seen it yet. I actually watched some of the video and it was hard to watch, and I didn't see Jim Rogers as any threat to the police officer. He was rolling around because he was being tased. You know what I'm saying? And he was asking, like, what did he do wrong? I didn't see him being violent towards the officer, threatening to the officer. I don't know. I guess according to them, they have more video. I haven't seen it yet. What do you think, Treble, of another, and this is Pittsburgh police now, of another black person dying at the hands of police over basically a free bike?
I'm thinking, like, if you feel that threatened by black people to where someone literally rolling on the ground because they're in pain from the pain that you're inflicting on them, to like keep on going with it, then why do you need to be a police officer? Why isn't there like a deeper screening of these people and how they feel about the communities that they're sent to patrol? You know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like, from just hearing the story, because I didn't watch the video, it seemed like this officer treated Jim with no remorse for his life whatsoever. It's like, you're not complying with me. No matter what you did, I'm going to make you bow down. And that was his way of doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, does it matter that, it looks as if that arresting officer was a black officer? Does it matter to you all that this was a black officer that tased Jim Rogers?
It doesn't, because when I was 11, I turned 13 because fuck 12 completely. You know what I'm saying? It's like the entire system, you feel me? Black or white, the entire police system was established against us. So no matter what your color is, when you have that badge on, in my eyes, you swore to serve and protect white America.
Farouk?
Man, fuck that nigga.
To just off top, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, black cop, white cop, what's the difference? This goes back to the point I was making. You can't reform this system, man. This is like, police officers have a type. There is a type of person that is a police officer. Cadets, law enforcement, recruiting agencies, their practices, they look for a specific type of an individual. And specifically with black people, they like, there's no more blackness. It's just your blue uniform, your blue shield, your blue line, and all them other things. Like, I think it's interesting that this case hasn't got as much attention because it was a black officer that murdered a black person. Had this have been,
that's why?
I honestly think so. Yeah, I honestly think so. I think that it's just like, oh, it's two black people that killed each other, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or there's another black person that killed another black person. I don't think that it really has the same dramatic effect as it would in the media as if it was a white person that was killed by a black, or a black officer killed a white person. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't have had the same effect.
I agree. I mean, I don't, it doesn't matter to me that the officer was black. It's still the same, and we've been talking about this. We've been talking about, like, I mean, something so minor as that, like, that at that point he returned the bike. He's not a threat to anybody in that community. You have the property back. Why couldn't he just walk away?
Here's what's the,
like that, that's the question to me. Like, why at that point do you feel like, this man needed to be arrested? Like, literally the property that was in question is back on the porch. They didn't want any money for it anyway. And so that to me makes it even more infuriating. At that point, I would think somebody, particularly a black man, could make the decision that, this ain't even worth writing up. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that at that point, you still feel like we got to arrest this man. Why? Why does he have to be arrested at that point? And then when he says, "No, man, I ain't doing nothing," like, why then does he have to be tased? And so one of the things that just came out before you comment, Farouk, and I put the article in the chat, is that it says, according to the call logs, that they placed Mr. Rogers under arrest at 10:36 a.m., but they didn't begin transporting him to the hospital until 10:57 a.m. And they didn't arrive at the hospital until 11:13, 37 minutes after the arrest. And so did we lose Farouk?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh
shit.
Okay, so he came back. He came back in. He's back. And so to me, I think that's an issue. Like, so I don't know if you heard that, Farouk. According to new information that was released by KDKA, that they actually did not take him. They didn't start to take him to the hospital till 20 minutes after he was arrested. He doesn't get to the hospital until 37 minutes after. I guess maybe he had this quote unquote medical emergency. On the video, he can be heard saying that he was complaining about the effects of being tased. And so I think that goes back to this pattern, white or black, with police, this idea that like we can't even get first aid. That like we have like it's some type of extra punishment that got to come to us. But go ahead, Farouk.
In case anybody was wondering, the cost of Black lives is $50. That's what it shows you. That's what it shows you. There's a $50 bike that was originally placed for sale that nobody wanted. So a community member decided to give this bike away for free. So the value of the bike was approximated at $50. So this black person died over a $50 bike. So that puts a value on a black person's life of $50.
Well, right? They even said like they didn't even want $50 for the bike,
right? So,
but nobody bought it for $50,
right? And this is the benchmark, though. This is no different than selling slaves cheap, right? To get the same treatment.
And this is what's so weird about this, because this is an officer. This officer probably make over $100,000. I mean, he could have came out of his pocket and said his $50. Like, I just don't understand why when the officer comes, the bike is back. Like that they have to go even further. One more thing I want to say in this article, and I'll come to you as well, Treble and Farouk, is that they said, on the tape, you hear Mr. Rogers complain of being hurt. It says, though EMS was summoned, it's not clear if he received medical attention on the scene. So EMS actually came to the scene, but they didn't leave with Mr. Rogers. They didn't take him to the hospital. He was put in a police cruiser. They bypassed West Penn Hospital, which was 4 blocks away, to take him directly to the county jail. But because he went into cardiac arrest en route, they ended up taking him to UPMC. So it just gets worse and worse and worse, because like you see here, he's complaining that he's hurt. EMS is on the scene, but instead of turning him over to the medical people or driving him to a hospital 4 blocks away, you're wanting to take him to county jail again over a bicycle that was already there. You know what I'm saying? And so it just gets more maddening. And this is why when we say like our lives matter, I mean, bro, like because of this, like should this dude be like should he be punished more because of what he did, or what? Because he didn't put his hands behind his back when you told him to?
There's black cops always feel like they have to come down on black people harder in order to please their white officers and all this other shit. Like these niggas, these badges, man, they really feel like they gotta go so much harder. It's just like you said, menace to society. This is just like the other part of menace to society, right? You done fucked up, right? You know what I mean? Right. And also think about Freddie Gray in Baltimore and what that black officer did, taking those people on a rough ride, and one of them ended up dying in the back of that police cruiser. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they passed the jail, they passed the hospital, fucking these men up in the back of here. Yeah. This is you know what I'm saying? This is just like the Freddie Gray situation all over again. It's just over a fucking bike. Shit is wild, man. Fuck these niggas, man.
Do you have
That's why I want to go to space.
Trouble? Yeah.
Yeah, this is proving this article that I read about the dangers of black resiliency in the media, and how when we parade the idea that black people are resilient for what they withstand, it makes police officers feel as though we can withstand even more. Right. It's like, oh, you're a resilient black person. Okay, then that means I have to double down on my physical punishment because of how resilient you are as a people.
Absolutely. No, I mean, and that's like, a lot of times, black people, but specifically black women going to the hospital complaining about different things, and this idea that, are you tough enough? You good? Oh, you just need this aspirin, and then this woman dies, and it's like we didn't believe her, and so just like you said, like this person is saying, yo, I got chest pains, I'm having an ill effect from being tased, And it's probably this idea that like, nah, like you good. Just like you said, you're a black man, you good, you strong, you know what I'm saying? Or it might be this feeling of like, well, you resisted, quote unquote, like you didn't listen to my command or demands. So now I'm not going to treat you with the same humanity. And I think that's what's, you know, sad about it. And I mean, just to move along, I mean, you know, to go about like black people and interactions with the cops, you know, the Associated Press released this article about how the police force is used against children, right? That like, even though black children make up 15% of the population, we're over 50% of all arrests by police. It talked about, you know, an 8-year-old child being arrested in Chicago because the police were looking for illegal weapons. And so here we are, you know, if you're older and interact with the police, you're in trouble. But also, you know, the police are being called on us as children. I mean, I don't know if you all have ever had, you know, experience like that as a child or want to speak to that.
First time I got arrested, I was 11 years old.
Wow.
Very first time I was ever put in a cop car, handcuffed, everything, 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in elementary school running through the projects from police. They never caught me, but it's like my heart was racing, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I knew I was young, but I also like what's fucked up about how a lot of us grew up is like even when you're a young black person, you know that your youth does not equal innocence. Yeah, it doesn't protect you at all. You go out into this world and the same things that are happening to adults could happen to you at any moment.
Look at Tamir Rice.
Yeah.
Look at Tamir Rice, and that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like our blackness, like we're not humanized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not viewed as human at all. So and this echoes the resiliency thing. It's like, you know, they see black people in the media if it's not crime, it's for sports. Right? They equate this with like these superhuman abilities that black people have in sports and all these other arenas. Then, you know, it's like, oh, well, you could take this punishment. I'm off this.
Yeah, and just to you know, in this article it said the AP analyzed data on approximately 3,000 instances of police use of force against children under 11 for the past 11 years. They said this was a small representation of the 18,000 overall police agencies nationwide and the millions of daily encounters that the police have with children. But it said black children made up more than 50% of those who were handled forcibly, though they are only 15% of the child population. And so that goes directly to what, you know, Treble said about our innocence, despite being, you know what I'm saying, you know, our innocence. You know, always Paradise would tell the story about when he grew up in New York, how like, you know, from like age like 1 to 6, like the police would come and like smile at you and, you know, all the, you know, you're a little child. Yo, I want to be a police officer when I grow up. And he was like, right when you turn like 7 and 8, them smiles turned into frowns. And when the cops pulled up, they wasn't smiling and offering you candy anymore. They were looking at you in a very menacing way. And that's oftentimes a lot of our experience. And, you know, just to, you know, I know you had mentioned Tamir Rice, but just this week, a 10-year-old black girl was arrested in Hawaii just after just drawing a picture of her bully. Apparently, this black girl was, you know, being bullied in school. She drew a picture of her bully, and I guess the parent of the bully saw this picture, and they had this black girl arrested. She was arrested without her mom. She was questioned without her mom. Her mother wasn't even told about this arrest. She was arrested in the classroom in front of her class. Now, what type of psychological effect does this have on a 10-year-old girl who's already been bullied? Now she's being bullied by the system. Any comments from you all?
Yeah, it's like now she's gonna grow up thinking like she's not safe anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Even when she's the victim,
absolutely,
she's being penalized as though she was the one doing the bullying. So it's like now it's going to perpetuate this psychological effect where she is going to look at the world through a lens of distrust. That distrustful lens might cause her to, you know, do some things to land her back in that position, because now all they're trying to do is like, it feels to me like they're trying to psychologically perpetuate this criminal mindset. You know You know what I'm saying?
But, right. And then it's also that thing of like the weaponizing of police against black people, right? You know, here was a white parent who was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the police. And that police, instead of saying, wait a second, this girl didn't make any explicit threats to anybody. This girl didn't bring any weapons to school. But just because this white parent was upset about a picture a 10-year-old drew, these officers showed up at the school, arrested this child, and then blocked the mother from even seeing the child, but took this child in handcuffs to the police station.
It's like, what crime did she commit by drawing a picture?
I mean, isn't that what you tell children? Like, get your emotions out. You know what I'm saying? Draw these pictures. Isn't that what we tell them?
You know, when I was still teaching, that was something that we seen so often. Is like these teachers would threaten children with calling the police. You know, involving school resource officers and everything like that. And if nothing else, it just reaffirms that the police are this terrible consequence that no matter what age, you know what I mean? Like when you're a young 100%. Person, you're looking at as like, oh, like it makes that fear a reality. Like I think when you're younger, it's healthy to have fears of things you don't quite understand, like the boogeyman or the dark, or, you know, running down the steps when someone cuts the lights out, things like that. Like when you're young, there's an innocence to your fear. But when you're constantly threatened with violence and you have a visible representation of your boogeyman, and this is someone that comes in a police officer's uniform, it's traumatizing for a child. And specifically when a child is trying to speak out about traumas that they're sustaining, you know what I mean? Like they're having, oh, I'm being bullied. Like I'm being made to feel unsafe at school, where we know a lot of children turn to school as a safe place. And the Treble just said, this child is going to have to unpack a lot of this throughout the rest of her life, because, you know, they've been told that, you know, they've been illustrated that there is no safe space for you. Right. Nothing you do is going to protect. And this, and even furthermore, like that's just how gaslighting happens for rape victims. You know what I mean? Like this is like part and parcel of the same system. So this is what I'm saying. Like, yo, I'm singing the same tune. Like this is something that cannot be reformed. This is something that cannot be repaired.
Right.
Bring fire to order.
You make up a great point. It's like if you're,
I make a lot of great points, man.
But it's like if you're telling me as a child, I'm gonna call the police on you. Mm-hmm. Like you're putting me in a position where like the police coming doesn't mean safety for me. Because I remember being in a conversation with one of these. It was a white county councilman, and I was explaining to him like, when the police show up for black people, that doesn't make us safe. That doesn't make us feel safe. That in some ways, when the police show up in mass, that makes us actually feel unsafe. Mm-hmm. That makes us feel more afraid and it was like he didn't understand that. When I explained it to him, he was like, "Oh, you know what? I don't. That wasn't his experience. White people's experience when the police show up, it's like, yo, the police is here. They're gonna protect, kind of like what Treble said. They're gonna protect and serve me. That's not our experience. But if you're telling me as a child, yo, I'm gonna call the police on you, you're already putting in my mind that when the police show up, they're not for my protection. They're gonna show up to punish me. They're going to show up to harm me. And then, of course, if you're turning on the news and it's another case of police killing somebody that they didn't have to, then, of course, that goes into our mind that when the police come, that means they're going to punish me. That means they're going to harm me. They're going to hurt me. Then what relationship are we going to have with this institution other than a relationship of, just like you said, fear or anger towards it? You know what I'm saying? Because there's no reconciliation. There's no, oh, this police officer is going to be fired. You know, this police officer is going to be taken off the force. This police officer is going to go to jail. You know, we saw one out of all these cases we saw, and he's appealing his sentence. Yeah. Well, let's stay on school because obviously school is, you know, is wilding, and a lot of
studentvoicespa.com. Studentvoicespa.com.
Yes, if you want to hear authentically from students about how they feel about school, go to studentvoicespa.com and watch that documentary. But like schools are going crazy over this critical race theory and like these threats of parents, like white people basically not wanting the real history taught to their children, so much so that a woman was recorded. An educator, I don't know if she's hold up, was she the principal?
Probably.
She was the top administrator in the Carroll Independent School District and I think this was in Texas. If it wasn't, we just gonna say this was.
It was in Texas. It's safe to say it was Texas. 11 out of 10 times
it was
like
Texas.
This happens.
It was Texas. Where
go nigga. I mean, go figure.
Teachers were told that if they talk about or teach about the Holocaust, that they can't just teach one. They have to give the alternative view. So they can't just teach the Holocaust is bad.
And here's what's fucked up about that. The Holocaust is the only time where Americans are the good guys, like in the global scale of political theater. Like that's the only time America is the hero.
Like,
quote
imagine
unquote.
Telling somebody that, hey, yo, you can't teach on the Holocaust unless you give the alternative. What's the alternative view? Do I gotta say, hey, yo, we gotta maybe consider was Hitler right? I mean,
maybe he was right.
And then it's
maybe.
Like, bro, how do you justify the torture and murder of millions of people?
Well, and that let me tell you how, bro. Come here, Treble. Come here. There's people that actually believe the Holocaust didn't exist.
Okay, but once again, we're talking. This is a school. Like that's what I'm saying.
They say a whole bunch of wild shit in school. A whole bunch of wild shit.
I know, but school is supposed to be a place where we actually teach facts,
and we're supposed to be safe from the police. But that's not the world we live in.
But I'm saying, like, it's a fact. Like the Holocaust, like that's a fact. Like I don't think there's an academic school book anywhere that's available in school or universities that's saying the Holocaust didn't exist. So I bet you there is one. I bet you there is. Maybe in Texas, I don't know.
Maybe
it shouldn't be. But it's like if we agree that the Holocaust happened, then we have to agree that it was horrible. Like, how can we then say, well, what was the other side? Well, this is how crazy people are, because they're saying the same thing about slavery, right? We know slavery was horrible. Now, was slavery legal at the time? Yes, it was. But that doesn't mean that it was not horrible. That those
legality doesn't always equal morality.
Come on, brother. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't mean That doesn't equal morality. It was wrong as hell then, and it's wrong as hell now. But like to try to present another side of it, this is wow. I mean, you know, you were in the school, Farouk, man. Like, what does the teacher say to that?
Are you asking me what I would say to that? I get fired. That's the day I'm punching my ticket. Nah, I mean, there are educators that don't have the ability to distance themselves from their own ideological upbringing or stance and separate that from what's required to be taught in the classroom.
I mean, I think that's a big problem.
I remember when Trump got elected, the election happened. We had a substitute teacher who was a long-term sub in a grade 3 classroom. And, no 9-year-old really has a comprehensive understanding of the political system. They just hear what their parents tell them and their friends. And, they pull things off pop culture and they just regurgitate information.
Right.
But this teacher was like, something. I voted for Donald Trump in the middle. And like, that has no place in a grade 3 classroom, classroom, let alone.
Why are you saying that?
Like, why?
I mean, unless you want me to know that you're straight up racist. But let me say now, to not shoot the administrator in Texas any bail. However, this is what she said. She said that it's a law. It's a new law in Texas that requires teachers to present multiple perspectives when discussing, quote, widely debated and currently controversial issues. So she said, and make sure that if you have a book, sorry, it's hard to say, that if you have a book on the Holocaust, that you have one that has an opposing.
What is the debate about the Holocaust? What is it a debate about?
Right.
There's nothing to debate about. The teacher killed like 20 million people.
The teacher said, quote, how do you oppose the Holocaust? And she said, believe me, that's come up. So clearly this goes back.
That's what I'm saying. People that believe in the Holocaust didn't exist
in Texas. And this, you just don't want to deal. I think it's Virginia put up the quote, why can't somebody just say we're so ashamed of our real history instead of making it like we're a great nation? And it's like, you're so ashamed of what you actually did that now we're bordering on the ridiculous. I think 6 million people but it's probably more. You know what I'm saying? It might be 20 million. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is super wild. And so just to touch on that, I guess we have kind of an OG Terry Crews.
Oh man, this is where Herschel Walker draw the line.
No, this ain't Herschel.
Oh, I thought it was Herschel Walker. I'm about to say.
But although Herschel Walker actually,
he was like, hold up,
the swastika. Like Herschel Walker, a black man running for a senator in, I think, where is he running? Out Georgia?
I don't know. Tried to
defend a swastika because the swastika was made up of needles. And so they said, this was an anti-vaccination thing. This wasn't about, and the anti-death, I think it was the ADL. They were like, look, a swastika is a damn swastika. Like, I don't care if I put some cool little black fists, if they form a swastika, guess what? That's not popping. You know what I'm saying? But I was talking about Condoleezza Rice. I don't know if you had that video, John, of Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice, definitely OG Terry Crews, and you know what I'm saying, like, member of the Bush administration, and she was on there to talk about Colin Powell, and
I was about to say Colin Powell. Come on,
right? Another one who had a complicated. I know Colin Powell endorsed Obama, but that does not take away that he lied. He agreed to lie this country into war.
Created a war.
And again, millions of people died. I mean, that's also part of his legacy. But Condoleezza Rice was on The View, and they asked Condoleezza Rice about Condoleezza Rice, bro. We're not going to disrespect the black woman.
That's Dave Chappelle. That's not me. That's Dave Chappelle.
We're not going to disrespect Condoleezza Rice personhood. We can go against maybe some of the things that she says, but she talked about, and mind you, Condoleezza Rice grew up in segregated Birmingham, Alabama. Well, she had a few things to say about critical race theory. Can you bring that video up, John?
I'm curious about this. I haven't heard this yet.
Let's.
Am I gonna be annoyed? Am I gonna be annoyed?
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see what she says.
To be sending to kids. One of the worries that I have about the way that we're talking about race is that it either seems so big that somehow white people now have to feel guilty for everything that happened in the past. I don't think that's very productive.
Is it past like 10 minutes ago?
Black people feel disempowered by race. I would like black kids to be completely empowered, to know that they are beautiful in their blackness. But in order to do that, I don't have to make white kids feel bad for being white. So somehow this is a conversation that has gone in the wrong direction.
All right, you can pause it right there. You can pause it right there. So what do you think, man? Are we making white kids feel guilty about everything that's happened in the past by actually teaching them like the truth of what happened in the past?
See, I think this is gaslighting 101, right? Because we're telling white people, hey, white history in America has a foundation of racism and white supremacy. And when they start feeling guilty about that, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're making me feel guilty. You're making me have to feel bad. It's like, no, you're ashamed of what you're hearing, and that is okay. We could start with that. You know what I'm saying? And we could go from there. You feel me? It's like, I'm not making you do anything. I just feel as though you need to be aware of of the historical context of your whiteness and how it still plays a very huge role in how groups are being marginalized and oppressed.
Again, it's like we're trying to teach you the truth. Like, this is how America actually came into existence. It wasn't some great experiment where, well, hey, and this is that we talked about the racism of the season. Hey, we're dying. Hey, here's some Native Americans. They're not Indians. Here's some Native Americans. Oh, they gave us blankets and we shared dinner together. And guess what? We became loving friends and we lived happily ever after. No, genocide was committed on those people. Like, that's what happened. Not this idea as Pilgrims and Indians and we were all friends and they saved us and, oh, we lived happily ever after. Pocahontas got with some other white dude. That was rape. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, we want to teach you the fact, not some made up bullshit that they hand you. Farouk? Fuck them niggas.
Come on. No, like I'm gonna tackle this from an educational standpoint. I remember when I first came to the States, and and I had a history teacher when I was in middle school, talking about kind of the creational aspect of manifest destiny and all of that they teach in American classrooms. And one of the things that he said to me stuck out, and it just rang such a large bell. His name was Mr. Harris. He was a Korean paratrooper, and I remember he told me that it's important to recognize that the Queen called George Washington a terrorist, and that George Washington was a terrorist against the crown, and that lets you know everything that you need to know about the creation of America. It was founded on terrorism, and the most insidious forms of such genocide against the indigenous people here, the capitalistic enslavement, the global currency placed upon black bodies that became the transatlantic slave trade.
Absolutely.
And there's something to be said about Condoleezza Rice, who came from a segregated background, who witnessed Jim Crow, the witness separate but equal. And I'm using my finger quotes for the people
witness
listening.
The bombing, witness the bombing of 4 little girls.
Witness the bombing of the church. To sit up there and say that black children's existence is making white children feel ashamed about their whiteness is the entire problem. She's misreading everything. We're not asking
not our existence, like the teaching of like the real history.
Well, I mean,
America.
but still, but still, you're saying though the blackness, and this is what that Republican talking point from last week was, that when you make black children feel accepted, it makes white children feel unaccepted. And this is it. This is piggybacking. Yeah, this goes further to illustrate that point. These black children can't win for losing.
You know what, bro? It's like there's never no attempt to like not make us feel bad as black people.
No,
like, no one gives a fuck. It's all, man, the hell with your feelings. This is what blah 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 blah. And it's like, so like this idea that like we gotta tiptoe around white feelings. Who said that? No.
Let me say something.
No. If I make you feel bad, you should feel bad. You should feel bad for what your ancestor did to ours. You should. You should be ashamed about that. You should. What are we dealing with?
I got 2 anecdotes real quick. I'm gonna make it quick. When white people, when you go to the African American History Museum, the Smithsonian Museum, and you tour that bottom floor, that's all about slavery and everything like that. Or you make sure that you were talking about this is what we did to black people. When you come to that exhibit,
yes,
make sure you say this is what we did. This is our history. This isn't just black history. This isn't just an exhibit in a black museum. This is our American truth.
Your ancestors did that. Yep.
Your great-great-great-grandfather did that, probably to the great-great-great-grandfather, the person next to you, right? 100%. And interestingly enough, I was up late last night and I was watching something. They had a highlight from the Archie Bunker show where they put a swastika on his door. And he's yelling at his son-in-law because he's blaming his son-in-law for being a left-wing liberal. He blames his son-in-law for it. And he said, Archie Bunker says, I oppose communism. And Archie Bunker's son-in-law said, I'm not talking about colorism or communism. I'm talking about civil rights. Archie Bunker's retort was communism.
Wow.
Civil rights. Archie Bunker was on in the 80s.
Yeah.
Our civil rights are still what?
Why are you watching Archie Bunker?
It came up it's
in 2021.
It came up. I was scrolling on Facebook. It came up and it was like, Archie. It was like, how they have those ads or whatever. Yeah. It was like Archie Bunker has a swastika drawn on his. I was like,
you're like, what's Archie Bunker talking about? Gotcha.
Got you. And I thought Archie Bunker was. I thought Carol O'Connor was Jewish, but he's Irish. I didn't know. But anyway, But yeah, so wildness.
So yeah, I mean, and it's so much more we can get into. But I did before we close. I did want to get into. Because
we didn't even tell no jokes this episode, man.
No, we about to get into the joke. Well, I don't know. So one of the things, let's get into our entertainment section because we do got some jokes. You know what I'm saying?
I need some jokes, man. Because this
speaking of,
episode
like,
actually
blackness,
fucked me up a little bit, man.
No, this is a wild episode. And bro, like, it's mad stuff we didn't even touch on. It's mad crazy events that we didn't even touch on. But, you know, one of the things that came up this week was, and I don't know this woman. Apparently there's a singer. Her name is Jesy Nelson. My daughter knows her.
Oh my God.
Jesy Nelson is from England. It's funny because like Adele came out and talked about, remember when Adele had the Bantu knots? And Adele basically came out and was like, yo, I didn't read the room. I messed up. I deserved all the dragging. Like, you'll never see me do that again. And so shout out to Adele for that. No, put the other picture up first, John. You got to go with the other picture. So Jesy Nelson is a, you know, so let's bring up the picture of Jesy Nelson. She did a video with Nicki Minaj. And you probably might not know from
Nicki been hurting. She been down bad. My queen is down bad.
So Nicki's wilding. So yeah, put that video up, John. This is a screenshot from the video. And so this is a white woman in a this isn't two black women, but they're the same complexion. It's kind of wild. So Jesy Nelson, and you know, in the song, she uses, you know, if you're familiar with hip hop, she uses Bad Boy for Life, Diddy's famous song, and she's talking about wanting to get with, you know, men who got gold teeth and are bad boys. And so people accused her of blackfishing, right? This is another.
That shit wild.
People accused her of blackfishing. And so you look at her, she's not mixed with nothing. She's white mixed with white, but you look at her, clearly her skin is dark. She's got, you know, black
lip
hairstyles,
fillers,
black nails,
the hot cheekbones,
all of that. So just what do you all think about just first reaction to here's this white woman, she's using a hip hop beat, she's talking about dudes with gold teeth and like black culture. Nicki Minaj is down bad. What do y'all think about?
My queen is down bad, man.
What do y'all think about like now to Jess's defense, again, no, not shooting her no bail. She was like, I love black culture, I love black music.
I bet
I'm
you
committed. I mean,
I bet you do.
Is it fair? Is it wrong?
She out here for the real BBC, not the broadcasting network. That's what she is interested in. I told you I had jokes. That was off the cuff. I just freestyled that one.
What do y'all think? I mean, Treble, you're an artist.
Listen, I won't be supporting. I won't be listening to her music. I won't be watching the music videos because this is the shit that I can't stand. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, like, I remember I did a whole course at CMU. It was a hip hop course, but it was mostly white population. The first thing
hold on. Say that again, Treble. Say that again. Flex.
Yo, I did a hip hop course at CMU.
Basically, and what does CMU stand for? What does CMU stand for?
Carnegie Mellon University. You know
Flex, my nigga. Flex. That's one of the largest universities in the world, my nigga. Flex.
Yes, you know what I'm saying?
Flex.
The first thing I had to teach these young white theater students was you cannot come in this hip hop shit and think that appropriating it is the way to do hip hop. It's like hip hop has always been a vehicle for us to tell our own stories. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to come in and you're going to profit off of the culture, profit off of your story, whoever you are, come as you are, be authentic. We will accept you as you are. You know what I'm saying? Black churches, I don't go to black church no more, but one thing I loved about it was come as you are. They didn't judge, like they try not to judge you too much by how you appear.
I gave you the look under my face.
But like I did take that to heart. It's like, yo, come as you are. You don't have to blackfish. You don't have to make your lips fuller. You could come as you are with your own story. You know what I'm saying? We will respect your story much more.
Hey, let's see Jesse's original story. Let's see Jess's. Can you put the picture of Jess prior to the plastic surgery? No, let's get to the original Jess.
This looks like someone who would have done really well on like The Voice or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, bruh. So this is how she looked before plastic surgery. Obviously, lips, filler, and all of that.
And she got a little bit of lip. Like, she has some lips. You know what I mean? Like, she got a little bottom lip action. Yeah, she got bottom lip action. Like,
but just like you said, it's like Why can't you?
Why? Here's the question I got asked for surgeons. How come you only know how to make one face? Like everybody that gets their face done all look the same. It's like you only know how to make one face.
So
like,
maybe this is what Condoleezza Rice was talking about. When we make black people feel comfortable, white people go and get surgery.
You know who I blame for this?
God.
You know who I blame for this?
Oh my God.
I blame
Kanye
Miley
West?
Cyrus.
Oh, you blame Miley?
I blame Miley Cyrus because
so she started it. So look, let me just share because we shared an article. Shout out to Sarah John. I'll share the article in the chat. She said blackfishing is when non-black individuals alter their appearance to try to appear more black for profit, with that profit often coming from regurgitating stereotypes about black people. Blackfishing and black sense. Remember, we talked about what's her name? Aquafina are just the most recent incarnations of minstrel shows and the use of blackface, and inevitably they leave black people feeling inadequate. So just again, like instead of this record company investing in the actual black artists, and instead of, because Diddy's in the video, oftentimes is black men co-signing this BS, you know what I'm saying? But now we got Nicki Minaj as well, you know what I'm saying? But, and it's like, instead of just investing in an actual black person, it's this idea that we can get these non-black people to pretend to be black, to use black culture, and then we can make more money. It's like the Elvising of everything, you know what I'm saying? And so, but on the flip side, Kanye West was at the airport the other day.
In whiteface.
Kanye West. I
love it.
Can we show the picture of Kanye West? I don't. It's all, and it's wild. All this is so like, yeah. So Jesy Nelson said she was tanning. I don't know. I mean,
what the fuck was you tanning? The sun? Like, did you take holiday on the bloody sun and just lay the fuck out? Cover yourself in coconut oil? Like,
bring that picture where she has the visor on. Bring the picture of the visor up. 100%, right? Like, she was on vacation, but if you look at that picture where she has the visor on, this don't look like no tan. This is makeup. You know what I'm saying? She actually looks darker than Nicki Minaj right here. That's makeup.
She looks like a light-skinned woman.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like they make it so convincing where you don't know. You don't. And remember one of your friends came on the show and accused me of blackfishing.
Oh yeah, I mean, people have asked me that. I have got the it's Farouk Black. I have got that. But bring up Kanye. So now, if we're mad at
I got Yeezys on right now
and Aquafina,
bro, I didn't see this.
Kanye,
it looked like Amber Rose. That looks like Amber Rose.
Kanye West, and Kanye has been covering his face all the way, and a lot of times, but this is Kanye West. A picture of him at JFK. You got to have a mask on.
Or is it him?
It's him. There's a picture of him, the same outfit where he doesn't have the white mask on, but he just has on a regular mask on his face, like a surgical mask. So this is Kanye West. You can see his hands. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that's Ye's hands, man.
This is Kanye. This has been proven. This is Kanye. So should white people be upset? Or should we be upset Kanye wearing whiteface? Or is this like maybe a way to protect ourselves? Maybe.
So my question would be, is he profiting off of this? And is there an entire industry backing it? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, look at Trouble filling in for Miracle. Come on, Trouble.
Because it's like all he did was put it on. So it's like I could see where people would be mad because like it does seem like a double standard. Like, white people get all this, shit for blackfishing, but it's like, is he acting like a white person? Did he say, "Hi, my name's Jonathan"?
He did put on a red cap and endorse Trump. So I mean, you could say maybe he was acting definitely like a lost mind black person. But I think your initial point is correct. Like Kanye is not making money pretending to be white, and there's not a whole industry of like people trying to pretend to be white. So you're 100. Now there's an industry of black people catering to white feelings, i.e. Candace
you mean the Republican
Owens,
Party?
And there's an industry for those black people, but
we just had one on the show. We just had Condoleezza on the show.
Exactly. So what do you think? I mean, you're a admitted Kanye fan of his music. I'll say his music and his fashion, not his ideas,
music and fashion. Yeah,
his,
absolutely.
Or his, you know, and you know, there's a lot of people that are. What do you think of Kanye putting on? Is this Kanye channeling his inner, like, you know, because I've heard, and I'm not gonna put nobody's names out there, but I've heard people that are close to Kanye say Kanye wants to be white. You know what I'm saying? I mean, directly from these are people that know Kanye, grew up with Kanye, have told me directly that Kanye wants to be white. So is this Kanye living out some type of fantasy, maybe?
I mean, you know, that's Christian billionaire genius Kanye West was talking about. So please put some respect on that brother name. We're not gonna slander the good Lord Jesus Christ in front of me as I got Kanye's shoes
that
on my
hilarious.
feet. Right? We're not going. You know, I'm wearing foam
you got the
right
ugliest ones. You picked the ugliest Kanye's.
Nah, man, I got
that white Kanye designed them shoes, not black Kanye. Black Kanye did the 350s. White Kanye did them shoes.
But anyway,
wearing that mask when he did them.
You know, I can't really say if this is him acting out of fantasy or something like that, because he's had masks on for like the past year and a half. I think it's Ye is just really trolling at this point. I really think Ye is just like, you know, I'm going to, like, the haircut, right? The haircut was just wild. Like, you know what I mean? It's at this point, it's just like, I can do whatever I want, and anything he does becomes a talking point. Case in point. Right, he put on this white mask. We talking about it, right? I love it, man. Yeah, keep doing you, man. I love Donda.
No.
Man, listen, I brush my teeth to Donda. I listen to Donda every Sunday. You know what I mean?
do kind of question his obsession with like white supremacy culture sometimes, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough. It's tough to not be. You know, if you're a black person in a certain echelon of wealth, entertainment, and Hollywood, it's difficult to not be enticed by that. Right, because it's like they've isolated you and made you feel like you're acceptable.
Man. I feel like Denzel is doing all right. I mean, he got the same black wife. It's black people that's doing all right. Don't blame.
Yeah, I'm not saying that is right. I'm just saying.
Celeste texted me. She said this was a response to Kim Kardashian's outfit at the Met Gala, where she had on the full black face. You know, her whole face mask, covered in black. Yeah. Like, so this is his response. Who knows? I mean, you know, it's wild out here.
You know, but I mean, I don't hold it against you. I think this is one of the least egregious things he's done.
I mean, as long as he
this side of the MAGA cap,
just keep his mouth shut. I mean, like, if you want to, you know, even if you know, I'm not, you know, I wasn't.
You got a white dog, man. You got a white dog.
He's light skinned. My dog is light skinned.
And gave the dark skinned dog away.
That's so funny. My dog is light skinned. They talking about you, Thor. So anyway, so let's go to our Karen. We have our Karen of the week. We have been skipping Karen of the week. You know what I'm saying? Man. Our Karen of the week, and for whatever reason, she decided that she was going to pick an airplane in the middle of an aisle to do her TED talk. And so why, we don't know, but this is our Karen of the week. She wanted to tell y'all about how the pandemic began. Can you drop that for us, John?
Mine, you can't take it. I tried borrowing yours. You didn't want to let me use it. I brought my microphone. I'm going to use it. This is perfect. Thank you. We're so great. You don't take the pandemic started all because humans had lost a little bit of faith. You're going to cuss me? You're going to cuss me? Yes. I'm not going to fight on my speech. I don't need to be taken anywhere.
This is some of the whitest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I'm completely harmless.
Like, this is technical definition white shit.
I'm doing this because, like I said, I'm not terrible to look at. Yeah. You want the attention. That's me. The reason why the pandemic started was basically because the internet. So the reason the pandemic started is because nobody here.
Like, and it's like, hey, did you know? Like, did she know like YouTube and Facebook exist?
Nah, she wanted to wait till you were on a pressurized cabin 30,000 feet in the air and you couldn't click out of this shit. You couldn't hit no mute button. She was like, "This
Said,
is
"I
my
need a
moment."
captive
My dog has better sense than any of you.
I mean, this
My
is
dog
so
would be a better
wild to
dog
me
for you people.
that she got up, she purchased, and it just, man, people is going through a lot, man.
Why? Like,
People is going through a lot mentally.
traveling
man.
is stressful enough. Why would you want to add to the stress of traveling? Like the last time
It
somebody
wasn't
got
that-
up on a plane and started yelling, man, that just didn't end well for anybody.
Hey, bro, and we're out to, what is it? Was it just the 20th anniversary of September 11th? But to go on a plane to like subject me now, I'm headphones on the minute.
Right? Yeah, I'm
seat.
asleep. I'm asleep before takeoff.
I'm headphones on, noise canceling. You're not gonna, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. Like word, like that's where you met. Like go to the internet. Well, I guess she said the pandemic started because of the internet, so maybe she felt the internet would have been bad. Or I don't
Imagine
know.
if she was black doing that shit, man.
Oh my god, she would have got tackled down,
Man,
and pummeled and then arrested.
man, they'd have put her, like dropped her through where the wheels deployed. Man, they'd have just dashed out the plane like shit.
that was definitely what they call peak caucasity.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So, do we got any? Oh, but also, October is Mental Health Month. Please get your mental health
tended to.
in order, tended to, particularly before you fly. But speaking of that, tomorrow at 12 on Tilt, Mama Brown, Julius Boatwright, the state of mental health and policing. I'm sure they have a lot to talk about, considering what we talked about today, the death of Jim Rogers. So definitely tune into Julius and Danielle tomorrow at 12. We also have an event. One Hood Power has an event coming up on Friday that's in support of caregivers. That's at Pitt, featuring Senator Bob Casey.
I don't know him personally, but Bob Casey looked real friendly.
You know what? And I don't know him personally, but I do tell people this, like, when the thing happened in the aftermath of George Floyd, the first politician that actually reached out to us was Bob Casey.
Yeah, and he was like, I didn't understand. Help me. Like, help me.
He basically asked us to put together a group of young black leaders that he could talk to. And so he did that. This is before I hadn't heard from any other people. So at least he's trying, but I don't know him personally. I'm not here saying, but he's already in office. So, but he's going to be at this event. We're lifting up caregivers. He does have a Mr. Rogers type.
I would say he's like the one white guy on the block that's just nice to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, he lets you borrow his car.
Yeah, just keep it nice with us. And if you're in Erie, Pennsylvania,
why would you be in Erie?
You live there, bro.
I mean, people live there, bro.
And then, I go to Erie every summer, bro. Erie is
remember when Donald Trump said he wouldn't come to a shithole town like Erie?
Oh my God, he did say that. But Erie's fly. I go to Erie every summer. I like Erie. That's my little. It's underrated. But we're doing a Vote for Justice fundraiser with Keystone Progress Saturday in Erie. So if you're in Erie or near there and you want to support One Hood Power, Lavery Brewery. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I probably didn't, but go check that out. Anything else? Last but not least. Oh, what's our book? A Black Gaze.
I'm Black Gaze, Artists Changing How We See, by Tina M. Camp. And you know why I love this book? I'm going to tell you why I love this book. Because it has pictures.
A Black Gaze. What's her name? What's the
Tina
author's
M.
name?
Kemp. Look, there's pictures.
Tina M. Kemp, A Black Gaze.
Yeah. So what this book is,
that's our white pages. Yeah.
I would love to read just the sleeve, because this is something that's really dope. In A Black Gaze, Tina Camp examines Black contemporary artists who are also shifting the very nature of our interactions with the visual through their creation and curation of a distinctively Black gaze. So this really talks about Black art kind of dictating a socio-political trajectory.
Absolutely.
Through pictures and words.
And we should get Jess and Kanye a copy ASAP, you know what I'm saying, to help them out.
Yes.
So until then, hopefully next week we'll be at full capacity. It's mad stuff. We didn't even get to the cop who tried to prevent his friend from getting arrested. The Capitol police officer was charged with obstruction of justice for January 6th. We didn't get with Donald Trump disrespecting Colin Powell. It's mad stuff we didn't get to. But we'll get back.
Didn't Donald Trump say? Did he say like, "I hope they treat me like that"? The way they treat
God, this dude is insane. So we'll see y'all next week. This has been This Week in White Supremacy. No, we're gonna be back, man. We'll check y'all. Peace. One hood, y'all.
Peace out. Never lose sight.
Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and to wipe their mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the fire.